What's up, y'all? It's been a long time since I did one of these, but today felt like a good day to just get outside and walk and talk, you feel me? So today I want to talk about money. I'm always talking about money, but today especially. All right, you work for it, you exchange your time and energy for it, all right? You stress over it. All right? A lot of niggas have died over it. A lot of niggas are spending their time in jail over it. Some of y'all have lost friends over money. If I were to ask you what money actually is, could you tell me? Now, if you don't know what money really is, how do you expect to build wealth and protect what you've worked so hard to earn? So if you asked me what money is, I would tell you that money is a proxy for your time, your energy, and your intelligence. When I say money, I can almost guarantee 99% of y'all are thinking about currency. I just want to let you know, currency and money are not the same thing. Currencies are just a medium of exchange, right? So think about your US dollar, your Canadian dollar, your British sterling, your Japanese yen, or the Chinese yuan, or whatever the case may be, right? You take those things, you take your dollars, and you exchange them for goods and services, right? But the problem with these dollars is that they don't maintain value over time, right? If I gave you $100 today, right, you put it under your mattress. 5 years later, when you go back to your mattress, right, you pull that $100 out. It's still $100, right? It's still a medium of exchange. The problem is, what $100 could buy you today is gonna buy you much less in the future. The difference between money and currency is just a medium of exchange, but real money, sound money, is a store of value. You see, currency, things like the dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar, these things can be printed at will, right? So there's an unlimited supply of American and Canadian dollars, right? If something can be printed out of thin air, how much value can it really store over time? This is the problem that everyone is dealing with, right? Everyone is saving in dollars, right? But remember, dollars can be printed out of thin air. So you're not maintaining purchasing power over time. The value of your dollar is continually going downward. Haven't you noticed, month after month, year after year, the price of everything just keeps increasing? In 2002, the rent for a two-bedroom apartment was anywhere between $700 to $1,000. Come, fast forward to 2025. It costs anywhere between $2,400 and $3,200 to rent the same exact two-bedroom apartment, right? You need almost 3 times as many dollars to buy or rent the same thing. This, my friends, is called inflation. Now, when people hear inflation, they only think about the cost of things going up. But what they don't consider is that the power of their dollar or the value of their dollar is going down. Think of the dollars that you're holding and saving as ice cubes, right? What happens to ice cubes when you just leave them out? They start to melt, right? That's what's happening to your dollar is melting. It's losing its value. It's losing its power, right? This is why you have to invest. You have to find somewhere to park your money, place your ice cubes so that they don't melt. So before we had money, humans used to barter, right? So imagine I'm a fisherman, I fish. And the next man down the street, he raises cattle, he has beef, right? We could trade my fish for his beef, right? Cool. But what are the chances that at the same point in time, I need beef and he needs fish, right? This is called double coincidence of wants. And this is rare, right? This doesn't happen often. Because it's rare, right, humans started looking for a middleman, like a universal thing that they could trade between each other to represent value. This is where money came into play. Throughout time, humans tried to use all sorts of things as money, right? They started off with salt, then they went to seashells, then they went to certain types of beads. They tried livestock, right? They tried to use all these things as money, as a medium of exchange. Eventually, something like 3,000 years ago, humans came across gold, right? And they started using gold as money. right? Gold possesses certain traits that makes it a viable sound money, right? In order for money to be good, it needs to have these traits. Real money must be durable. It shouldn't rust, it shouldn't expire, it shouldn't rot, and it shouldn't die. Real money must be portable. You have to be able to move it around with ease. Money has to be divisible. You have to be able to split it up into smaller pieces. Money must be uniform, meaning each unit of money is identical in size and value. It has to be acceptable, so people have to actually accept this money, all right? It has to be scarce, right? Limited in supply. You can't have an infinite supply of this money. And last but definitely not least, it must be a store of value, right? This money has to be able to maintain its purchasing power over a long period of time. The only two things in the world that have all 7 of those characteristics. One is gold, the second is Bitcoin. You see, the problem with dollars is that it lacks 2 of those characteristics. One is scarcity, right? Your government can print up an infinite amount of dollars. 2 is store of value. The more that your governments print dollars, the less valuable the dollars you hold are. The money that you earn is a claim on future time, energy, and resources, right? So when you store that value in something that loses value, you're technically robbing yourself, right? So the question I gotta ask you is, are you storing your life, your time, your energy, your intelligence? Are you storing that in something that holds its value or not? I just want to get y'all thinking about this stuff. It's really important. So I highly recommend that you guys read some books, right? So there's Broken Money by Lynn Alden. There's The Bitcoin Standard and Fiat Standard by Saifedean Ammous. And then you got to read The Price of Tomorrow by Jeff Booth. These are just some books, right? So I'm probably going to make some more of these going on. They'll be a little bit more refined. But yeah, until next time.